update of my October freezer challenge. If you missed that video where I announced that, I will link it. I believe it was my delicata squash video, and it was the second half of that, but I'll link it. This is first week of something I do every October. This is just the first time I'm doing it on video. And I just wanted to go through a few things. I'm gonna be looking down because I made notes on my computer, because after like a day and a half, I realized I'm not gonna be able to remember what I used. But I just wanted to say, if you didn't watch the announcement video, this is not like a pantry challenge where I try to use only stuff at home and not go to the store and spend as little as possible at the store. This is more of a trying to use up stuff in the freezer to make space for things. I like to make space for holiday deals for meats, because there are a lot of good deals usually during the holidays. I start to bake Christmas cookies ahead of time and freeze them so that I have them ready with less stress during those final weeks. And I also, I do end up doing some freezer meals. I mentioned in a breakfast video, breakfast freezer meal batch cooking day, that I don't normally make freezer dinners, but I do some in the beginning of summer because gardening season is crazy, and I do some right before the holidays because, and I never plan them in, but sometimes something happens and I'm just like, I need that freezer meal, and then I end up using them all. So I do want room for some of those. I did something different. I'm normally a very detailed meal planner. I did not meal plan for this. It was a little overwhelming to open the freezer. I didn't want to like take a bunch of stuff out, decide what to use, what to do with it, put it all back. I decided to take stuff off the top and front about 2-3 days at a time and make my plan that way, and just do a shorter meal plan type thing. And if I had to go to the store a little more often for an ingredient or two, that would be fine, which I actually didn't have to go like one extra trip, but that wasn't actually for a freezer meal thing. That was for a canning experiment. Anyways, so that's what I did. I grabbed stuff off the top and the front, kind of just looking that way. And then when I get further into the month, I will feel a little more comfortable taking things out and putting them back in, because my freezer is packed right now. I will show it to you in a second. I do have, I took a before picture of my deep freezer. I do have, just so you know, out in my garage, I have an upright deep freezer, and I have like an extra regular fridge freezer out there. I'm not talking about the fridge freezer, just the deep freezer. I also have a small chest deep freezer in my basement that I use strictly for meat. So the deep freezer is the one I'm trying to make room in. I did throw in my indoor regular kitchen freezer into this challenge for myself, just because that one's driving me crazy right now. Usually that one is not packed. We keep very specific things in there. I keep frozen bananas in there when we like have one that's about to go bad, and I will either use it for smoothies or banana bread. Whatever package of whatever nut we're on, you know, I'll have like half a package of almonds, half a package of pecan pieces, stuff like that in there. Ice packs for the lunches. And then typically things that are opened packages. Like if we open a bag of frozen strawberries for smoothies and we don't use it all, the open package will be in there. But for some reason right now, that freezer is packed and it's driving me nuts, so I'm including that one. Didn't do well on that one this week. We'll get to that. So anyways, I just wanted to show you before pictures of both of those. There are some convenience items in my deep freezer, so prepare yourself. I do garden and cook as much as I can from that, but I do also buy things from the store. And some of those are convenience items, some of them are just for fun, things like that. Also in the door of my deep freezer I keep a lot of butter and nuts, and I'm not trying to use those up. I'm trying to just use them like regular. Those are things I like to have on hand right there. Get them when they're cheaper, and they just keep longer there. Also, the top shelf of my deep freezer picture, you'll see a big bag of ice. I don't normally have bags of ice in my freezer. I had bought that and used some of it when I was doing some canning in the summer, and I was blanching stuff, and so I was going through ice really fast, and I needed more. And I decided to keep that bag because I do need to go to Knoxville soon and do a big shopping trip, and it's an hour or more away, so I like to take my ice chest and put ice in it, and I was like, I'll just keep it for that. Hopefully I'll get there this week. I also, as part of that, like not like a pantry challenge thing, I'm not trying to save money here. I probably will, because I'll be trying to like use that stuff, but I'm not adverse to being like, oh, you know what, these chicken breasts would be good with sweet and sour chicken, but I'm out of pineapple, I need to go to the store and get pineapple. I'm fine with doing that, but I do have the rule that I can't bring something into the freezer right now unless it is such a super deal that I can't pass it up. It can't be a regular sale. It's got to be a pretty awesome deal, because that's going to set me back, and I don't want to be set back. Excuse me. I learned this week that I suck at taking pictures of everything. I got better as the week went on, so hopefully next week will be better. By the way, this is an open collaboration. If you want to do freezer challenge, you can jump in now. Use the hashtag October Freezer Challenge so that we can find each other's videos. You can also just put in the comments, if you don't want to make a video, what you've used and how much space you've made. That would be great too. So challenge started October 1st, which was last Sunday, and Sundays are a harder day to use stuff up. So Sunday mornings, everyone makes their own breakfast. It's usually quick, on hand, whatever you grab on the way out the door. I usually skip breakfast on Sunday. And we all go out to church, out to lunch after church. So at night, we do a like leftovers and appetizer buffet. I will get out whatever leftovers we have, reheat them, sometimes repurpose them into little appetizers. And then if it's not like enough for a whole smorgasbord, I will pull a convenience appetizer out of the freezer. And so Sunday, October 1st, the only thing I used from the deep freezer was a box of like 6 or 8 little mini sliders. And we also had a large box in there of a Costco box of mini tacos. And we had used those before, so we still had half of it. So I used the other half of that, which helped get a big box out of the way. So the sliders and the mini tacos are what I used from the freezer on Sunday, October 1st. On Monday, October 2nd, I pulled out some chicken breasts that I turned into like a chicken and gravy over mashed potatoes. I had potatoes I needed to use up. And also we had salad, but I just cooked that chicken in the Instant Pot and then made like just a gravy, you know, like cream chicken kind of thing to go over that. And then, let's see, I did forget to take a picture of that while I was making it. So what I did was I grabbed a shot of the leftovers in a container that were going into my husband's lunch the next day. Okay, so that was Monday. Tuesday, October 3rd, I pulled out a couple of sausage, egg, and cheese breakfast croissants that I made in that breakfast batch cooking video. I will link that video. I had a bag of 4 of them in there. I only pulled 2 of the sandwiches out. And I did not get a picture of that, I don't think. I also pulled out a beef roast, and I made that for dinner. I made like maple garlic balsamic thingy in my Instant Pot, and I made roasted Parmesan potatoes to go with that. Those are potatoes I grew. So I finally am starting into those potatoes, which was fun because that was delicious. So Tuesday we had the breakfast sandwiches and the beef roast that came from the freezer. Wednesday, Hot Pockets for breakfast. The girls, my daughters requested that, and I thought that was so funny because they don't usually eat them. They were in the freezer from when my son was here before he left for college, and he used to be the only one that ate them when he was like wanting a midnight snack or something. So I was just like, okay, I mean, it made space. Those were like tucked into the door of the freezer in front of my butter, and I need to like take that out because it's making that little bar that goes across each of the shelves in the door. I was making it kind of bow out a little bit. So I was like, all right, so a few Hot Pockets, I think 3 of them. I used from the inside freezer, and this was the only thing I used from the inside this week, some frozen peas. I made myself for lunch some Typhoon fried rice. I made a video on that. It'll come out next week. And because I had leftover rice to use, I had leftover chicken I needed to use. I used some peas from there, but that bag is still in there because I was just making lunch for me, so I didn't use that much. So that was Wednesday, Hot Pockets, and that was it, because Wednesday night, yeah, my fried rice was just made from leftovers. Wednesday night, my husband and I usually go out on a quick date because my girls have youth group. They eat dinner at youth group, and so then I drop them off, but he brings them home. So we usually meet up somewhere in the middle and have dinner together. So that's what we did on Wednesday. Not a whole lot for Wednesday. I did, however, on Wednesday pull out a breakfast casserole for Thursday morning, and some white beans and some pesto and some chicken broth for Thursday, so that those would be thawed and ready to use. So Thursday morning, that would be October 5th, we had breakfast casserole for breakfast. That was one of those I made during those freezer breakfasts. It's a hash brown, ham, egg, and cheese casserole. I also made for dinner, a sausage white bean pesto soup, and that I did make a video on, and it came out yesterday. It was a Crocktober video. I used sausage I had in the regular fridge, but the almost like all the rest of the main ingredients came out of the freezer. So those were small packages. It doesn't look like it made a big of a difference, but it was 3 things. I did pull out I've got a box of frozen breadsticks in there. Way back when, I used to have to warm up 2 of those boxes for our whole family because we all loved them. But now, one of my daughters and I don't eat the bread very much. The gluten bothers us. My son, who would eat a lot, is gone, and so it was just my husband and 1 daughter. So I only used half a box of breadsticks. It's still in there. I'm gonna try to use the rest this week. Then yesterday, Friday, I did not use anything frozen. I was experimenting with some canned meal things, and that we tried for dinner. I'm gonna make a video about that in a few weeks after I've experimented and stuff, because I'm normally an ingredient canner and I don't make full meals in the canning process, but I had some things in my head that it would really suit, and so I'm experimenting with that, and I will do a video on that in probably like 2 weeks or so, 2-3 weeks. So Friday, we didn't eat anything from the freezer Friday. I did, however, thaw out croissants last night. I had a box of chocolate croissants from Trader Joe's. They thaw overnight, and I thawed those out for breakfast this morning to have with sausage and eggs. And now it's Saturday morning. I have an after picture of the freezer. I don't feel like it looks any different. It looks like a little bit different, but not much. So obviously I had planned this to be a 2, maybe 3 week challenge. I'm thinking it's gonna be 3, maybe 4, probably 4, just to make enough room. So I will show you that picture of the deep freezer. I did not take another picture of the indoor freezer because it really doesn't look any different. All we used was a partial bag of peas. So there's that. If you are doing the freezer challenge, let me know in the comments. I'd love to check out your video or see what you did if you didn't make a video. And I will see you next Saturday for the 2-week update. Thanks for coming.